living in this quasi-crack house. Amy just called me and told me that her and Ben were engaged to be married. I was absolutely broken. There are men who are living in a constant state of malcontent and malaise. You're just existing, just kind of moseying through life. You don't know that you're missing anything. You don't understand that you're not living the life you want to live. If you've ever had that lingering doubt, am I really doing the best I can? Men owe it to themselves to get around men who love them, who care about them. The most important relationships a man can have is with other men who thrive, men who dominate life. They have strong bonds and lifelong relationships with like-minded men. If there's a man who's laying on his couch or he's just thinking something is missing, the CME awakens your masculinity. So if there's any doubt in your mind as to whether or not you're doing it right or you're getting the most out of life, you come to the CME in Miami and I can promise you those questions will be answered for you in tenfold. I just want to bring men together to help us all to become better. A man's true happiness is derived by his pursuit of becoming the best version of himself. And that is exactly what the Conference of Masculine Excellence is all about. Whether you're a Red Pill content creator or a Red Pill content consumer, we can all benefit from being around like-minded men. It is very, very difficult to find men who understand what's really going on out here in the central marketplace from a Red Pill perspective. The Conference of Masculine Excellence brings all these men together so that we can network and have a community of like-minded men that we can lean on when we need to lean on them. If you want more information about the Conference of Masculine Excellence, go to masculineexcellence.com. If you missed the CME, you missed that person-on-person, you missed that raw interaction. And you can't replace that. You can't replace that with a phone or a laptop or a computer for sure.
Understanding women and increasing your dating success starts with Donovan Sharpe's massive collection of award-winning books and courses. Get off to a fast start and jumpstart your masculine renaissance with the 49 Laws of Sharpe. The 49 Laws of Sharpe is the perfect quick start guide for any man new to this community looking for the answers that keep them up at night after a bad experience with a woman. So many men ask themselves, why did she cheat? How could I not see this coming? Why did I miss the signs? And how can I avoid this in the future? The 49 Laws of Sharpe will answer these questions and many more. This will give you a rock-solid foundation upon which to build, develop, and cultivate your newfound identity, and put you miles ahead of your competition. Most men have never had access to this valuable information, let alone understand and apply it. But the 49 Laws of Sharpe will give you an unfair advantage over men and women. This treasure trove of valuable knowledge is available in audio, video, ebook, and paperback. Next, supplement your newly acquired foundational knowledge, supercharge your dating life with Donovan's 25-hour course, How to Master the Game. How to Master the Game will teach you the ins and outs of the player life, overcoming approach anxiety, identifying women who you want to approach, text game, first date principles and logistics, avoiding the friend zone, and so much more will be covered extensively. Also included are the bonus podcasts that will cover how to dress, Tinder game, and much more. Put simply, How to Master the Game will turn you into a stone-cold assassin with the ladies. Available in video and audio format. If you're not the kind of guy who wants to live the bachelor life, or you've had your fill of the player life and are looking for something a little more fulfilling, How to Build a Quality Woman from the Ground Up is a must. Donovan's 5-part, 7-hour audio course will show you step-by-step how to find, cultivate, and sustain a solid, healthy relationship. Everything from selecting the right woman, to coaching and correction, to what to do between the sheets. How to Build a Quality Woman from the Ground Up will guide you through the entire process of building the kind of woman you want and need. The strategies and techniques in this course are exactly what Donovan does in his own relationship to this day. And he is living proof that women can be beneficial to men provided they have the right instruction. And finally, the ultimate weapon all men are looking for in terms of being able to read and understand women, Donovan Sharpe's revolutionary, one-of-a-kind course that has been called the Cheat Code, Womanese. Womanese is the first and only course of its kind that gives men the raw and honest truth about what women really mean when they communicate verbally. Womanese translates female communication with shocking accuracy and has changed the dating lives and relationships of men the world over. So many men have avoided disaster because of the preciseness and sheer volume of material in this course, which contains over 600 translations. How cool would it be to be able to see through a woman's BS and act accordingly right then and there, rather than getting blindsided when it's too late? What would it be like to have the ability to read a woman like a book based only on what she says? These abilities will be at your disposal with Womanese. Women won't be able to lie to you, cheat on you, deceive you, or take advantage of you. The time and money you'll save pays for the course almost immediately. Womanese is available in video, audio, ebook, and paperback format, and can be purchased one volume at a time or all at once. Men in his community often state that the best investment a man can make is in himself. Donovan's extensive educational materials will take your life to the next level. And the only place you can get this life-changing knowledge is tsracademy.com. Link in description.
Masculinity in 2022 quite simply means a man giving himself permission to act like a man. There's so many men who simply aren't doing, saying, acting like they want to act, and the reason for that is because there's fear. The red pill gives men permission to be masculine. The CME attendee is a man who's looking for answers, a man who's looking for a deeper understanding of himself, who is kind of stuck in a rut, feels that he's not maxed out his potential, but he wants to take his life to the next level. Nothing inspires a man to improve himself like being around other men who are about self-improvement. The Conference of Masculine Excellence is going to be right here in sunny Miami, Florida. This, of course, is the home of Fresh and Fit. You know, Myron Gaines and I were very, very good friends. Miami is kind of the default headquarters for the red pill. Great weather, fast cars, pretty girls, good food, man.
My last, 3 or 4 girlfriends, they've all cheated on me, and I was always kind of surprised when I found out.
I thought she was separated. She told me she had her own place. Come to find out, she was still married. I couldn't believe it.
She kept trying to have unprotected sex with me.
At first, she told me she was happily married, but she still gave me her number, which was a little confusing.
She told me, don't worry, I'm on the pill.
If you're happily married, why are you giving me your number?
I'd hear them say things like, I've been single for a year, or, oh, I haven't had a serious relationship in forever.
I don't want kids, she said.
Then her husband found out about us.
And finally, she wore me down.
He came to my job. He was pissed, and I don't blame him. I would be too.
She told me she was pregnant. Turns out I wasn't the father because she'd been sleeping with 2 other guys. I was relieved, but I was also devastated. I mean, she cheated on me. I was happy not to be the father, but she cheated on me.
She lied to me the whole time.
She lied.
She lied about everything.
I got Womanese Volume 2 last summer, and it changed everything.
I jumped on Womanese the first day.
I bought Volume 2. I went halves on it with a friend of mine.
I think I was the first guy.
I finally understood why the same things kept happening with women.
This knowledge is so valuable.
Finally, the answers to all my questions.
It's like having their playbook.
They can't fool me anymore.
And you know what plays they're gonna run and when they're gonna run them.
They can't lie to me anymore.
The woman I'm dating now likes to say, you're like the woman whisperer.
I was on a date the other day, and the girl says to me, oh, I'm only on one dating app. And I asked her which one. She said Hinge. I kept quiet because we matched on Tinder.
I'm dating 2 girls right now, working on a 3rd.
I'm seeing a couple of good-looking girls. They know about each other.
The bonus material is icing on the cake. What is it, like 200 hours of bonus material? Something like that?
Guys, you have to get this course.
Thank you for doing this course. You've changed my life, man.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Donovan.
Thank you, Donovan, for opening my eyes.
Donovan, thank you. Thank you.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I've got a banger of a show for you guys today. Oi. There's a major crisis in the RP community.
It's not masculinity.
It's not a lack of intelligence.
It's not money.
And it's not fitness.
It's friendly fire.
We've turned on each other. You see, over the last few years, men in this community have declared war on one another.
Men are slandering each other,
Making personal information public.
And even doxing each other.
This is flat out wrong.
The world does not care about men.
It doesn't value our intellect.
It couldn't care less about our plight.
and it sure as hell doesn't care about what we contribute.
So this community was created to give men a place to go for help.
Help with money,
Fitness,
Help with how to be a true gentleman.
Dealing with life as a veteran.
Taking their place as head of household.
And even assistance with coping with divorce.
And for a few years, things were awesome.
Men banded together to help one another.
We were thriving. We were making real progress.
But something changed along the way.
Our egos somehow got the better of us.
We've become envious of one another.
we started throwing around wild accusations,
We started calling each other grifters.
doing hit pieces on one another.
And eventually, the message was lost.
Gentlemen, we are no longer a unified community. Every other week, there's a petty disagreement.
this creator falling out with that creator.
And he copied me.
Oh, he disrespected me. I said that first. He started charging for his products.
He's a fraud.
He should do a response video. Wah.
This ends right here.
And right now.
Welcome to the Conference of Masculine Excellence. This event will serve as a new beginning for our community. We are going to show men the true meaning of masculinity.
We'll discuss the importance of family and fatherhood.
We'll talk about fitness and why it's the cornerstone of every man's foundation.
We will discuss how to deal with things like PTSD and depression.
We'll teach you the importance of financial shrewdness.
We'll talk about how to avoid the wrong type of women.
How to select the right woman.
How to strengthen your mind.
And much, much more.
Yeah, we will talk about sex and relationships.
That's a given.
But we're focusing on becoming a complete man.
A man that is strong physically.
Mentally,
And spiritually.
Yes, most of us found this community because of women.
And hey man, it was a few women for me.
What are y'all talking about, man? I'm undefeated.
Shit, I'm not. I've taken a lot more L's than W's.
All right, let me stop the cap. I've taken plenty of L's.
but many of us understand that it's not all about women.
In fact, it's quite the opposite.
This doesn't mean we don't want women.
Because trust me, we most certainly do.
But we're going to show you why it's important to follow the advice of the Godfather himself, Rollo Tomasi.
And that is to make yourself your own mental point of origin.
None of us are perfect.
Far from it.
Yes, we have all made mistakes in life.
We have all made bad decisions. We've all had our hearts broken.
We've all been broke.
We've all been through some shit.
But our goal is to teach you how to avoid these pitfalls so that you can become the very best version of yourself.
Yes, we will have disagreements from time to time.
But in the end, we are all on the same team.
We're in this together as men. And this is how it starts.
Conference of Masculine Excellence will usher in a new era in this men's community. And from here on out, we're going to do things differently.
No more infighting.
No more friendly fire.
No more hit pieces.
No more response videos.
And no more public feuds.
If we have a disagreement, we handle it behind the scenes, man to man.
The way it's supposed to be done. And it's as simple as that.
Now more than ever, men need each other.
In the end, we are much stronger united than divided.
So join us to revive a once thriving men's community that focuses on its original purpose, helping men to become the very best versions of themselves. Thank you.
Get your CME tickets today at masculineexcellence.com.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe. Yes, I have goosebumps too. Welcome to the 850th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose. Let me see if I got them all correct here. Your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, discrimination, sexism, and all of the other isms. It is good to have you guys in. It is good to have you guys in today. I'm going to tell you what, man. I will never forget. I don't think I've ever had a feeling like I had the day that Blake sent me that promo. When I was in Phoenix, the whole doxing situation was out of control. I was dealing with that. I couldn't urinate. My blood pressure was high. I'm riding my bike 20, 30 miles a day. And I will never, ever forget this feeling as long as I live. When Blake finally sent it over to me, I sat there and it's funny, I had just gotten done with another bike ride, and I'm sitting here just glugging down water. I hit the computer. Everything stopped. Everything stopped. I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing. This is the greatest thing I have ever seen, ever. I was very, very excited to do the CME. Then I am even more excited for this CME because it's not. Listen, man. Putting together events, it's hard work. But last year was rough. It was rough. It was my very first event. I damn near died. I was dehydrated. My kidneys were shutting down. My blood pressure was out of control. Man. But watching that promo for the very first time, man, I was like, holy God. It was incredible. It was incredible. So I retooled it to make it Miami friendly, and hopefully I accomplished this. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm actually going to play some highlights from the CME last year. My guy Blake put them together. He put it together again. His guy Andrew went ahead and edited everything, and I'm gonna put these up separately. I just want to play them now just so that you guys can see them, and hopefully encourage you to purchase a ticket. And yes, the virtual tickets for the CME are now on sale. If you cannot make it down to Miami, if you can't make it down to Miami, you can buy a CME ticket. It is for the fraction of a cost. Desmond Montgomery with the $5 super chat says, "How's it going, Don? I can't wait for you to react to the latest Fresh and Fit episodes. They've been crazy." So I've heard. Yeah, listen, you guys ain't got to worry nothing about me, man. I will, trust me, I will be breaking down the Fresh and Fit boys as soon as possible. This episode is unofficially brought to you by Bear. I don't know. I like the taste of aspirin. Call me crazy. I like the taste of aspirin. I don't know why, but sorry about that. I don't know why, but I like the taste of aspirin. Who knows? But I will definitely be getting to the Fresh and Fit boys. Probably get to that tomorrow sometime. I will be joined shortly by the lovely and talented Janelle Gordon. I'll be joined very shortly by the lovely and talented Janelle Gordon, who will also be at the CME. I can see Ali D of Real Femme Sapien in the chat. Let me fix Jam Master J. Jam Master J was a little, he was a little crooked. He was a little crooked, so I got to make sure he's straight. But yes, Ali Drummond will be at the CME along with her husband Tom. Janelle Gordon will also be at the CME. I'm actually going to reach out to, I know who her boyfriend is, and I know who her boyfriend is. I don't know him personally, but I don't know. I wonder how she would feel about me sending an invite to him. Ostrike says, just watch your teeth. It's acidic. I know. I like the taste of aspirin. I like eating lemons, and I like eating limes. Yet, I still have these huge, healthy chompers. My teeth are probably going to fall out of my head in about a week and a half. But, oh, it's a feature, not a bug. How about that? Okay. At any rate, I'm going to play the highlights. I'm going to play the highlights from the last CME. So buckle up, guys. Listen, the last CME was a lot of fun. Listen, just ask Geeky Anomaly. He was there. Who else was there? I finally got to meet BK from the Rockies. He was there. Dude, he hooked me up with the gift he gave me was awesome. He gave me like the tape deck of Laserbeak, Ravage, Rumble, and Frenzy. Of course, my favorite Decepticon is Transformer, is Soundwave, so he hooked your boy up with that. So, without further ado, before we get into this, and now right now, Devin is getting her nails did. I never said getting your nails done. I would say right now, Devin is getting her nails did. That's why I haven't opened up the phone lines yet, number one. Number two, pardon me, that's why my lips are dry. Honestly, man, I don't know if I would know where anything is if not for Dev. I thought I knew where my lip balm was. Apparently, it's nowhere to be found. But she'll walk in here and she'll, oh, there it is. But at any rate, so pay attention, enjoy, and I'll see you guys here in just a second. Here we go.
We made it through the past year. That's a miracle in and of itself. This came about. That's a miracle in and of itself. And a lot of planning and a lot of vision went into this. So you are in for a treat this weekend. A lot of you came here to be inspired, to learn, to gather data. Some of you have wounds that are going to be touched and healed. And the guy who had a vision to make something happen, to create positivity in the men's community, give a big welcome to Donovan Sharpe.
And again, I don't want to be Mr. Tony Robbins motivational guy, but any one of you guys could be doing this. Any one of you. You just have to decide to. And I was never the guy who said, hey, you know what? You can do it, and if you just put your mind to it, no. You can't fucking do it. Not all men are created equal. You can't do anything you put your mind to, and no man is an island. But everyone in here, every man in here has the potential to be great. Do you put together a CME? Maybe, maybe not, right? But you guys can do things in your own lives. If your life sucks, make it unsuck. There's no excuse to be a fucking failure. There's just not.
Money, if you think about it, does not exist. It is not real. Money is what you get to record and store your labor that you gave to someone else to do something you didn't want to do that they themselves didn't want to do themselves.
Opportunities come and they don't show up. People ask me, Hotel Jesus, how did you get to where you are? I showed up.
It's not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the fucking rain. Rest in peace to Greg Plitt. He said that and that really resonated with me.
You ain't living what you say, so why should I?
You're gonna walk away with something.
How can you find some peace within? How can you find some authenticity within who you are? And instead of living the person that you think YouTube wants you to be, or being the person you think your friends and family want you to be, why don't you create the man that you should be, and you know you can be, and the man you should have been the whole time?
We have, in the United States, we have 1 in 4 children who do not have a father in the home. That is over 18 million kids. Whether this is set up this way, we've been conditioned, it's the government, it's whatever we want to blame it on. We have the power to change that.
Fear and doubt starts getting in the way. You start questioning how people might judge you. You're judging yourself. And all these arbitrary details that don't matter. Either you want to win or you want to be somebody's bitch. Those are just the facts of the matter.
You got to start having this inner dialogue. Is this the best move? Is this the most productive move? Will this make me more money if I do this? Less money?
It's peace, quiet, and freedom. Because that's what men really want. I mean, come on. We're very simple creatures. Value and authority. That's the sign of masculinity right there. That's it.
Get your CME tickets today at masculineexcellence.com.
Man, I'll tell you what, dude. If that doesn't give you the chicken skin, if that doesn't, I swear to God, man. I've probably watched these. I've probably watched that, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 times today. It is just so cool. Listen, man, last year's CME, it was an unbelievable success. Yes, Geeky Anomaly made lots of appearances in that particular video, and then of course we've got BK from the Rockies, who is in there as well. I've got some more promotional material coming up. I didn't want to go full throttle with the marketing until about 4 weeks. Until we're about a month out. But everything looks. All systems are go. All systems are go. This is going to be absolutely wonderful, and I'm very, very, very much looking forward to. There is a lot less stress involved with this CME. Of that, I am certain. So I'm told Dev is finally on her way home, and her nails do look good. Her nails do look very, very nice. So good of her to pull her away from her getting her nails did. Let's see. Let me look in the comments here. Shout out to my sharpshooters, shout out to my snipers over in the Sharpe stream chat. We've got JBlaze11, Dre Raven, JB84. We've got Hellfong in the house. We've got Blazanity, Black Sun 500, Sirius, Oxcraig, and Lost Soul. I don't think I've seen Lost Soul in here before, so welcome. Welcome one and all. On the Sharpe stream, or on the YouTube side, Real Femme Sapien, Ali D breaks the tape first, J Blaze double dipping, Dre Raven double dipping. Looks like Geeky Anomaly might also be double dipping. Nope, Geeky Anomaly's not double dipping. Johnny Green is in the house. Slam Bright says he is ready for some misogyny. Misogyny. Geeky Anomaly says, at this point, the fighting has to be about money. I can't imagine anything else. That's what I think it is. That's what I think it is. Now, you guys might have a different idea in terms of what you think or what you believe is the reason for the Manosphere civil war. But there is absolutely a civil war going on. And, the interesting thing is like any civil war, regardless of the country, regardless of the environment, regardless of the community, both sides end up losing, man. They really do. Listen, man, I'm thankful that the North won the Civil War here in the United States. Otherwise, I might not be sitting here right now. I mean, there could be many other different fates that life had in store for me had the North not won the Civil War. But there were more Americans were killed during the Civil War than all of the other wars that America has been involved with combined. I think it's like, I think the people who perished in the Civil War, I think that number was 3 times, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm not a historian. My brother will probably correct me if I'm wrong because he has a PhD in history. America lost 3 times more souls in the Civil War alone than we have all of the other wars combined. And so while Civil War might have a purpose here and there, more often than not, guys, it's a bad thing. Everybody loses. Everybody loses, man. Well, right now we are in a civil war in the Manosphere, and that's why the Manosphere is suffering. And look, man, there are certain, there are certain guys out there. It's gotten so bad that guys don't even want to claim the Manosphere. They don't even want to say that they're a red pill. They stay away from the words. I myself, I tried it. I said, you know what? I'm going to try to get away from the Manosphere lingo. You can't get away from it. The Manosphere lingo is what got me here. I'm going to dance with who brung me. If the Manosphere had a more positive reputation, then yeah, I think I would probably, I'd be a little bit more excited about mentioning these things, but you can't help who you are. When people mention the Manosphere, I am in that conversation. When people mention red pill guys, I'm in that conversation. At this point in time, I'm kind of ashamed to be because of the reputation we have, but you can't, I can't deny who I am. I really, I can't deny who I am and what this is. So I'm going to have to lean into it. And hopefully, like I said, I'm trying to revive this community, man. That's going to be the question. That is going to be the question when I open up the phone lines. Dev has just gotten home, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines and wait for her to get all settled in. But that's going to be the question. That is going to be the question that I ask. It's actually going to be sort of a multi-pronged question. Will the Manosphere, or I'll put it to you this way. Why do you think the Manosphere is in a civil war? Number 1. Number 2, will it ever end? And number 3, if it does end, what is going to cause it to end? I'll go ahead and answer those questions. Myself. So why is the Manosphere at war? I think Geeky Anomaly hit it best. I think it's money. I don't have. I can't think of any other reason. I cannot think of any other reason why someone would purposely try to tear down somebody else's brand or business for just no reason. Now listen, man, I've had guys come at me for a while, right? O'Shea, he came after me, but O'Shea didn't come after me over money. That's one thing that I can say about O'Shea. There's no love lost between him. We're not on each other's Christmas cards lists. That's for sure. But I know that O'Shea came after me on some personal shit. Hey man, it was not about money. It was not about money. O'Shea and I have never, as far as I know, listen, O'Shea does well financially, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure he still does. And so when he, when he talks shit about me, it's not because he's trying to line his pockets. That's just not. I've never gotten that impression from him. That doesn't make it right. But at least I can say that, hey, you know what? Regardless of what O'Shea does or says, I know that it's not motivated by money. And anytime something is motivated by money, you really do have to sort of question the motives. But I think Geeky Anomaly is 100% correct. It is absolutely money. There is only one reason why my biggest detractors have stopped. There's only one reason why my biggest detractors, whoever they are, and of course there's one main detractor, I'm not going to mention their name, but the reason why the guy who has come after me now for the last 1.5, 2 years, there is a reason why he is doing this. It is because of money. Okay? He has a product. I decided to create my product, right? Instead of competing and maybe even collaborating products, he decided to try to tear me down in an effort to keep what he has. And what he has done is quite the opposite. This person has literally single-handedly destroyed his own brand. He's destroyed his brand. Nobody takes him seriously anymore. I think he has maybe 60 or 70 guys who take him seriously. Those are the guys who are all in his comments and blowing smoke up his ass and the Twitter. Nobody takes him seriously anymore. Nobody's consuming that product anymore. He has like almost 400,000 subscribers. Come on, man. 400,000 people haven't subscribed to that channel. Those are bought and paid for, right? The only reason why the person who's coming after me is for money. If the CME exists in that other person's mind, that's gonna wreck that bottom line. It's money. That's what it is. Now, there are a lot of other guys who try to come after myself or Rollo or all this other kind of stuff. That's also motivated by money. Those are also motivated by money. Grand Cam, Kevin Ray Wilder, right? Grand Cam doesn't even matter. Kevin Ray Wilder, that's the best example I can come up with. Kevin Ray Wilder doesn't really offer any value. Like Kevin Savo, who is going to be at the CME, Kevin Savo very eloquently pointed out that you cannot build a brand tearing other people down. You can't be a Johnny-come-lately and say, oh, you know what? If I put these guys in the title, I'm going to get a bunch of views. Guess what? Kevin Ray Wilder's not going anywhere. He's not growing. He's not growing. All he does is he talks shit about Myron Gaines, myself, and Rollo Tomasi. That's it. And whether or not he agrees or disagrees with us, I don't think anyone will ever know, because we are literally all he talks about. When you make content that is strictly marketed to haters, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. My main opponent thought that that's what he needed to do. He says, you know what? I'll make a nemesis of Rollo Tomasi. His product consumption was literally cut in half. He had one event. There were over 300 people there. After he went after Rollo Tomasi, 140 people, 150 maybe, right? He continued his shenanigans. The very next event I spoke at, maybe 90 people, maybe 100 people, if that. Then, of course, his last event, you guys can go and check out my Instagram. It looks like there are 12, maybe 13 people there, if that. I had one of his guys come after me on Instagram. He actually called me a schmuck. He said, hey, schmuck, I took those pictures before everyone arrived. Is that right? Is that why he was doing a PowerPoint presentation? Was he practicing for all 12 people in the stands? Right? What's more is that normally this other person after his event, he's putting up all sorts of photos and pictures, and oh my God, we had hundreds of people there. Where were those photos last time? Where was his bravado? The reason why there's no photos, the reason why there's no bravado, is because it's an abject failure. And it had nothing to do with me. It had absolutely nothing to do with me at all, and everything to do with his behavior. Had everything to do with his behavior. Anyway, I don't want to focus on the negative, but that's the reason I believe that the Manosphere is at war. It's because of money. People see what we do, and they see the lives that we live, and naturally they say, hey, you know what? Well, I'd like to be a part of that. And listen, man, I got no problem. I have absolutely no problem with a man saying to himself, you know what? I see what Donovan Sharpe does. I want to do what he does. I want to influence men. I want to help men, and I want to make I want to make good money. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that making a shitload of money doing this is not one of my objectives. Of course it is. At this point, it has to be. I'm not working 18 hours a day for free. I don't think anybody is. Shout out to Jay Sean Harris, who's in the house. Jay Sean is going to be one of my videographers at the CME. So shout out to him. Right? But other guys see that this can be done, and they think to themselves, you know what, I want to do what Donovan Sharpe does. I want to do what Kevin Samuels does. I want to do Alpha Male Strategies, Coach Greg Adams. And so what they do is they try it. They and a lot of times they just kind of parrot. They just kind of parrot what we talk about, which is fine. We all parrot off of one another. This is nothing new. But they don't. They have very. So Oxcraig says he just bought his CME virtual ticket. That was the very first CME virtual ticket. Very good. So shout out to Oxcraig for being the first virtual ticket member. But what they do is they jump in and they see that it's not as easy as we make it look. I didn't just wake up one day and decide I'm gonna become Donovan Sharpe. No, guys, this is my 8th or 9th year in this community. I started off writing for Return of Kings. I wasn't making any money doing that. Yeah, Rue should, he'd pay us a few bucks here and there for our contributions, but I wasn't paying the bills for that. I was just happy to have an audience. Then of course I wrote for another website. I wrote for O'Shea's website. Did good work for him. Right? So that's now 200 articles. Guys, I didn't start making real money at this until maybe the end of 2020 or the end of 19, beginning of 2020. The pandemic is really where things took off. I started this community in 2014. That was 6 years, guys. 6 years. The problem with people is they think that what we do is easy and that it can happen overnight. A lot of people say, well, Alpha Male Strategies did it overnight. No, he didn't. Dude, AMS is not an overnight success. No, it took AMS his entire life to be ready for the moment. Now listen, he positioned himself in the right time, in the right place, at the right time. There's nothing lucky about what AMS did. AMS knows what the fuck he's talking about. AMS is a triple OG. He knows what he is talking about. That's why he grew so quickly. AMS is better at this than I am. This is why he has a zillion subscribers and I don't. It is what it is. But a lot of guys, they see the success that certain people are having, and when they try their hand at it the way we've done it, and it doesn't work for whatever reason, maybe the information that they're given isn't good, or maybe they're just not that good at it. Right? Maybe they're just not that good at it. People say, well, I can do what Donovan Sharpe does. I can lose my mind on camera every day. Not that simple, man. Not that simple. Dude, I prepare 5 to 6 hours a day for a 2-3 hour show. Building this around me, that took a shitload of time and a shitload of money. Guys, newsflash, there's over $100,000 worth of equipment in this room. That's no exaggeration. You guys can check my tax statements. Right? This is not easy. And when those who think they can do what we do, try their hand at this, and they see that it's not easy, then they decide, okay, they've got to be doing something wrong. They've got to be cheating. There must be some scam. There's got to be something they're doing wrong. And when they can't, and when they figure out, wait a minute, he's actually pretty goddamn good at what he does, that's when the hate starts to come in. Donovan Sharpe's a fraud. He's this. He's just out for money. He's a grifter. He's did it a few shekels. I've never scammed anybody. Well, not in the Manosphere, I haven't. All right. Listen, you guys know. My criminal record's extensive. I've written bad checks. I've been to jail. I've assaulted people. It's all out there. It's all out there. I'm not ashamed. I'm not proud of that, but I'm not ashamed of it either. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I fucked up. I did some pretty fucked up things in my life, and I paid the price. That's it. I'm not about to apologize. I'm not about to apologize to somebody for something that didn't affect them. That's just all there is to it. That's just all there is to it. So, in the end, what some of these guys decide to do is they either kind of fall out, or they become trolls. They troll, or they start channels just dissing the big red pill guys. And because the algorithm rewards people who talk shit about us by pushing them up in the algorithm, well, these haters make the correct business decision, and they continue to do so. There's just one problem. People don't want to watch that stuff. Hell, even MGTOW Dictionary's most ardent supporters, even they got tired of listening to him for 8 hours a day. There's only so much hate you can engage in. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. So Kevin Ray Wilder and Coach White Pill came up with this white pill thing. And white pill is literally the red pill. If you're a white pill guy, you have red pill beliefs, but you go after red pill guys. That's really all the white pill is. And Kevin Ray Wilder's such a knucklehead. Dude, his balls barely dropped. I've heard he fell out with with Coach Whitepill. Gee, I wonder why. Gee, I wonder why. Come on. Anytime Myron Gaines and Fresh and anytime Fresh and Fit gets taken down for a week, they're not the only ones who suffer. All of their haters suffer. Aubin Preach, they suffer. Kevin Ray Wilder suffers. Grand Cam suffers. Goose Day Janice suffers. Everybody who hates on Fresh and Fit suffers. Fresh and Fit feeds a lot of people, man. Feeds a lot of people. Dev, if you're watching, I need you to bring me up two bottles of cold water. 2 bottles of cold water. So that's my hypothesis on why the Manosphere is at war. When money started being made, when guys started making the first person that I know of, and I could be wrong, that really started profiting off of this was Roosh. And even when I knew Roosh was making money hand over fist, I never wanted a piece of that. I just wanted to be a part of the community. But then YouTube happened, and then people start, living lifestyles. You guys have seen my steady ascent. At some point, that rubs people the wrong way, man. I don't feel sorry for those people. I feel not one bit of sympathy. For those people. So the reason why the Manosphere is at war, I don't think it has anything to do with anything fundamental. The guys who come after, no, listen, Alex of Playing with Fire, I had a good discourse with him, right? I don't really know if his thing is money motivated. I think that Alex of Playing with Fire is a bit antiquated. He still uses old school PUA terms. He still uses old school PUA terms like negging. I'm like, dude, come on, man. What is this? 2007? Like, shout out to him, but you got to get with the program. Anyway, that's the reason I think the Manosphere is at war. I definitely think it's money. My quote-unquote arch nemesis is coming after me because I am hurting his bottom line. That is the only reason why he did it. He can tell everyone that he did it because of no. He did it because he didn't want competition. That's it. If there's no competition, then you're the only game in town. He handled it the wrong way, and he is suffering the consequences. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now, let's see. Will the Manosphere Civil War ever end? No, I don't think it's ever going to end. And I think that's probably the cynic in me. I think that's probably the cynic in me at this point in time. Okay, make sure Walter's not going to get out and run on the keyboard. Yeah, the cynic in me, the cynic/realist in me tells me that the Civil War is probably never going to end. But at some point, there's going to be a permanent division. Mainstream media is going to do its level best to keep us all under the same tent. But at some point, people are going to say, at some point, somebody's going to figure it out. Like, we're not all incels and losers. Dude, they look at guys like Kevin Samuels, Myron Gaines, myself, AMS. We're not booger-eating, neck-bearded losers who live in our mom's basements. No. We have girlfriends and wives. We have fuck buddies. We live great lives. We drive nice cars. We live in we're not losers. We're not. And at some point, someone's going to figure out, wait a minute, I think we got this community all wrong. And then at some point, somebody's going to name both communities. I have no idea what they're going to be. Who knows? But if the Civil War does end, what is going to have to happen to end the Civil War? YouTube is just going to have to go away. And YouTube's never going away. Not as far as I know. It's the second biggest search engine on the planet. And so those are my thoughts. I mean, God, the Manosphere Civil War, it's something, man. It's something. I wish it weren't here, but this is what we're dealing with. This is part of the gig now, unfortunately. Cage Jackson with the $20 super chat says, I know you break down movies. You definitely have to check out Deep Water. Ben Affleck is in it. Yes, I saw that movie. Holy shit. And you know, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but yeah, Deep Water was, good God Almighty, that was absolutely crazy. Ana de Armas, I believe, had dated Ben Affleck at one point in time. Ana de Armas she is naturally gorgeous. She is stunningly beautiful. Stunningly beautiful. So yeah, I have watched Deep Water. I actually saw it not too long ago. So I might break that down. By the way, I am breaking down Hitch this Saturday night at 8 o'clock p.m. exclusively on Sharpe Stream. We're going to call it Red Pill Cinema. Tim Jin Zephyr says, hi, Donovan, hope as well. You're no fraud. Well, I appreciate that. Carlos R., $2, says, cough, cough, the roommates. I don't have a problem with the roommates. You know, Hafiz and whatever the other guy's name is. They seem to be pretty red pill aware. Diet Cope with the $5 super chat says white/purple pill is a cope for men not willing to A, put in the work to become high value, and B, men who don't have the balls to walk away or enforce boundaries. Yeah, I agree. That's always been my contention against Kevin. And again, he and I we had a decent discourse, you know. But he, like Alex from Playing with Fire, he was very pedantic. You know, he tried to sort of nitpick every little thing. Instead of having a discussion, he was using strategies and tactics. I don't have to use strategies and tactics when the truth is on my side. Right? I don't have to do that. But yeah, Kevin Ray Wilder, he doesn't have any receipts. He doesn't. He wants everyone to think he knows what he's talking about, but I don't see anything. Every time I see him, his hair is a little bit longer. He looks like he's got the mange. I don't know. Maybe he's going for the grunge look. I don't know. And listen, I tell you guys as well, man. Hey, listen, do some research on me. Research my past, all that good stuff. You guys will see the good, the bad, and the ugly. Regardless of whether you like me or not, one thing's for certain is I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Know what the fuck I'm talking about. Jay Sean Harris with the $5 super chat says, doing my part in supporting male media, I'm about to jump in and give contribution to the cause with creating content. You're definitely inspiring me to dive in. Absolutely. Oh my God, I am thirsty as a motherfucker. What the hell is going on? Hey. Ay. After we take phone calls, I will be doing my triple header breakdown. I will absolutely be doing my triple header breakdown. Let me bring that up. Yes! After the stream, I will be breaking down The Ultimatum, Temptation Island, and 90 Day Fiancé. The Ultimatum, Temptation Island, and 90 Day Fiancé back to back to back. Back to back to back. And then, of course, on Saturday evening, I will be breaking down the movie Hitch. That is going to be all kinds of fun. All you need to do is download the SharpStream mobile app, and you can watch for free. So what I'm going to do is, Janelle was supposed to join me. I'm not sure if she's still going to join me or not. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. 516-387-1987, 516-387-1987. I'm going to take a short break and allow you guys to get into the queue. The three questions, this is a three-pronged question. You know what? I think I'm going to pin this. Question number 1. Why is there a... Dev says she's in, but I do not see her. Oh, there she is. All right. Question number 1. Why is there a civil war in the Manosphere? Question number 2. Will the civil war ever end? And number 3. What will it take to end the civil war in the Manosphere? So I'm going to go ahead and pin this. I'm going to pin that to the top. So if anyone's watching and they forget what the question is when you get on the phone lines. Oh, this is just the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. So Walter is sitting on one of my lights. For those of you who aren't familiar with Devin Rex, it's 516 BK from the Rockies, 516-387-1987. Devin Rex cats are very, very, they like to be warm. And it looks like Walter has found his way onto one of my spotlights. 516-387-1987. 516-387-1987. I want to know, in your opinion, why is the Manosphere at war? Will the Civil War ever end? What will it take to end the Civil War in the Manosphere? What will it take to end the Civil War in the Manosphere? I'll be back in just a few minutes to get your answers. Living in this quasi crack house. Amy just called me and told me that her and Ben were engaged to be married. I was absolutely broken. There are men who are living in a constant state of malcontent and malaise. You're just existing, just kind of moseying through life. You don't know that you're missing anything. You don't understand that you're not living the life you want to live. If you've ever had that lingering doubt, am I really doing the best I can? Men owe it to themselves to get around men who love them, who care about them. The most important relationships a man can have is with other men who thrive, men who dominate life. They have strong bonds and lifelong relationships with like-minded men. If there's a man who's laying on his couch or he's just thinking something is missing, the CME awakens your masculinity. So if there's any doubt in your mind as to whether or not you're doing it right or you're getting the most out of life, you come to the CME in Miami and I can promise you those questions will be answered for you in tenfold. I just want to bring men together to help us all to become better. A man's true happiness is derived by his pursuit of becoming the best version of himself. And that is exactly what the Conference of Masculine Excellence is all about. Whether you're a Red Pill content creator or a Red Pill content consumer, we can all benefit from being around like-minded men. It is very, very difficult to find men who understand what's really going on out here in the central marketplace from a Red Pill perspective. The Conference of Masculine Excellence brings all these men together so that we can network and have a community of like-minded men that we can lean on when we need to lean on them. If you want more information about the Conference of Masculine Excellence, go to masculineexcellence.com. If you missed the CME, you missed that person-on-person, you missed that raw interaction. And you can't replace that. You can't replace that with a phone or a laptop or a computer for sure.
Understanding women and increasing your dating success starts with Donovan Sharpe's massive collection of award-winning books and courses. Get off to a fast start and jumpstart your masculine renaissance with the 49 Laws of Sharpe. The 49 Laws of Sharpe is the perfect quick start guide for any man new to this community looking for the answers that keep them up at night after a bad experience with a woman. So many men ask themselves, why did she cheat? How could I not see this coming? Why did I...
We made it through the past year. That's a miracle in and of itself. This came about. That's a miracle in and of itself. And a lot of planning and a lot of vision went into this. So you are in for a treat this weekend. A lot of you came here to be inspired, to learn, to gather data. Some of you have wounds that are going to be touched and healed. And the guy who had a vision to make something happen, to create positivity in the men's community, give a big welcome to Donovan Sharpe.
And again, I don't want to be Mr. Tony Robbins motivational guy, but any one of you guys could be doing this. Any one of you. You just have to decide to. And I was never the guy who said, hey, you know what? You can do it, and if you just put your mind to it, no. You can't fucking do it. Not all men are created equal. You can't do anything you put your mind to, and no man is an island. But everyone in here, every man in here has the potential to be great. Do you put together a CME? Maybe, maybe not, right? But you guys can do things in your own lives. If your life sucks, make it unsuck. There's no excuse to be a fucking failure. There's just not.
Money, if you think about it, does not exist. It is not real. Money is what you get to record and store your labor that you gave to someone else to do something you didn't want to do that they themselves didn't want to do themselves.
Opportunities come and they don't show up. People ask me, Hotel Jesus, how did you get to where you are? I showed up.
It's not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the fucking rain. Rest in peace to Greg Plitt. He said that and that really resonated with me.
You ain't living what you say, so why should I?
You're gonna walk away with something.
How can you find some peace within? How can you find some authenticity within who you are? And instead of living the person that you think YouTube wants you to be, or being the person you think your friends and family want you to be, why don't you create the man that you should be, and you know you can be, and the man you should have been the whole time?
We have, in the United States, we have 1 in 4 children who do not have a father in the home. That is over 18 million kids. This is, whether this is set up this way, we've been conditioned, it's the government, it's whatever we want to blame it on. We have the power to change that.
Fear and doubt starts getting in the way. You start questioning how people might judge you. You're judging yourself. And all these arbitrary details that don't matter. Either you want to win or you want to be somebody's bitch. Those are just the facts of the matter.
You got to start having this inner dialogue. Is this the best move? Is this the most productive move? Will this make me more money if I do this? Less money?
It's peace, quiet, and freedom. Because that's what men really want. I mean, come on. We're very simple creatures. Value and authority. That's the sign of masculinity right there. That's it.
Get your CME tickets today at masculineexcellence.com.
The phone lines are open. The phone lines are open. 516-387-1987. 516-387-1987. Just to reiterate, the question, the 3-part question of the day is, number 1, why is there a civil war in the Manosphere? Number 2, will the Civil War ever end? And number 3, if you think it's going to end, what is it going to take to end the Manosphere Civil War? Let's go to Tim Jan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let's go to Tim Jan in New York City. Tim Jan, you're on live with Donovan. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Hey, Donovan, what's up? It's Tim Jan Zephyr. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Can't complain, but except for this Manosphere Civil War that's been ongoing for so many years, and I'll be honest with you, it's killing me. Like deep down inside, it's like, what are we doing? As you normally would say, like when you have your show. And honestly, I can honestly tell you why are we having a civil war. I think it's simple. It's honestly down to just it's a dog eat dog world, and I think it's a matter of, well, like you said, if I don't have this X amount of resources or followers, then I'm going to go out there and I'm going to start destroying that person. And one thing I've noticed is that when you start hating on somebody, then the person that you're hating on, you're giving them that kind of validation. And you're showing them that they're a better person than you ever are. And like I said in one of the chats, like there's a certain dating coach, I don't want to say his name, but he started talking about the red pill community, calling a bunch of losers and incels. But yet you're selling merchandise that is red pill-esque.
Yeah, right.
So make that make sense.
Yeah, right.
It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just,
I think
on top of that,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Donovan.
I was going to say, to me, it boils down to the money. You know, if you want to talk shit about red pill guys, but then sell stuff that you said is red pill-esque, then listen, if it's okay to be red pill, you're just going to have to, you're going to have to verbally differentiate yourself. Be like, look, I don't endorse what XYZ person said. Just because we're in the same community doesn't mean everybody agrees with everything 100%. But our detractors like to try to, they want 100% connective tissue. Kevin Ray Wilder tried the same shit with me when he was on. Well, Rollo Tomasi said this, but then you're doing that. I'm like, Kevin, Rollo and I are two different people. Like, he's in his 50s, I'm in his 40s. I'm in a cohabitating relationship for going on 5 years. He's married for almost 25 years. There are going to be some differences.
Exactly. You know, not everybody is going to have, like, the same kind of mind. I mean, it's the same. We're sending the same message about relationships and dating and stuff like that. But we just have different approaches as well. Some people sell things differently based on, like, how to attract women and stuff like that.
Right.
You do your thing, and everyone else does their thing.
Right.
But it's like we have like-minded individuals, but yet we're tearing each other down. Like,
yeah.
What are we doing here? Seriously. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
No, it doesn't. No, that's okay.
Yeah, and also, I'm going to say, is it going to end? As long as there's haters, I don't think it's going to end.
Okay.
I hate to be the Debbie Downer.
Okay.
I just think that as long as people have an egotistical mind frame of, hey, I want to make money based on this, and let me tear that person down. If they have an egotistical mind frame to attack somebody for, I don't know, whatever reason, then it's not going to end. So it's just going to keep on going. I don't know if it's just a part of life or whatever it is, but it's also going to help make things worse for people in the communities that wants to know a good message. Because let's say they don't know anything about the red pill and they find out about this. They hear one thing from one person, person B says something, and then they do by tearing down person A and person C, and it becomes an issue.
Yep.
And that's something I suffered from when I started, being in this community and understanding it. And I just say to myself, I don't understand what is the big effing deal. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. You're only hurting yourself.
I agree. Listen, I agree. Like I said, man, it doesn't make any sense if you're in it for, if you're in this community for the right reason, it doesn't make sense for people to come after you. However, if you are only in it for the money, it makes perfect sense to go after someone. It's just like the secret to the rap game, like back in the 80s and the early 90s. If you want to make a big name for yourself, lay down a diss track against a big rapper. If the big rapper responds to you, guess what? He's giving you validation. Now you're on the map, and now you're getting a record deal. Well, the interesting thing is here, Tim Jan, about the Civil War. The Civil War wasn't created by the haters. It wasn't created by the haters in the chat. It was created by the other content creators. Other content creators who, for whatever reason, and again, their names shall remain nameless, what they've started doing is they have started contracting these sort of marginal, these sort of fringe hater guys who have very, very small channels. We got people giving them this huge platform to just spew all this hate. And especially in communities like these, where, like, a guy like me, I'm never going to have a bigger following than someone who doesn't offer solutions. Because most people, this is men and women alike, are not about solutions, at least not as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I point out hard and fast truths about the dating market and, sexual relations between men and women and this and that, but I also offer solutions. Now, the solutions, though effective, they're not easy to implement. And if guys decide that, it's just not worth it, it's just too much work, most of the time they just kind of go off and chill. But every once in a while, you will get someone who wants to stay in there and kind of talk shit about us. Give you the last word.
I will. Actually, it's like when, let's say you're going to the gym and you're doing your workouts, but then you see a guy who's in shape and looks better.
Yeah.
Some guys are going to hate on that person, especially if he's getting all the women and the attention.
Yeah, right.
And all that good stuff. But instead of you tearing down that person and hating on them, why don't you just say, you know what? I want to be just like that guy, if not better, without having to tear him down.
Yeah,
that's the same thing that the people in the Manosphere need to do.
Yep.
If you're going to start tearing down people, guess what? It's going to come back and haunt you and bite you in the ass. As long as you start asking yourself, it's like the victim mentality mindset of, why is this happening to me? Say to yourself, what can I learn from this?
There you go. Very good. And if I'm the guy in the gym and I see a guy who's jacked, I'm the guy that will go over and say, hey, dude, what's your regimen? Why do you look like that? I want to know. Unfortunately, Tim Jan, most men don't have, they'd rather tear someone down than to build themselves up.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I think it might be from I guess, fear.
Nope, I agree.
Of being less than when you're person.
Well, thanks for the call, Jim.
Thanks
I
a lot,
appreciate
Donovan. I don't want to take too much time.
Absolutely. Take care.
No problem.
Very good point. He made some really, really good points. He really, really did. Sometimes people just want to hate. Let us go to Julian in California. Julian in California, you're on Live with Donovan. So what do you think is the cause of the Civil War? Will the Civil War ever end? And if it does, what will cause it to end? Your thoughts?
Well, to be honest, if I'm being honest, thank you for having me on your show. And I also want to really quick thank you for my previous call when you and Kevin and the other guys gave me the help on doing push-ups. Okay?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I remember
also,
that. Yeah.
With number one, answer number one, I pardon me if this offends you, okay? Pardon me.
That's fine.
I think it is definitely money. It's definitely money, but also in a previous video, you mentioned how where are the mentors for young men? Because I have principles personally, one of my views is whenever I hear someone ask things like that, I think to myself, have you looked in the mirror recently?
Right.
Again, pardon me in that.
No, that's fine.
So for me, it's a moral thing, you know?
Okay.
But maybe I'm the exception, you know?
No.
Number two, will the Civil War ever end? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And to be honest, I don't think it should. Let me explain.
Really?
why.
Okay.
You know how the people of the Balkans, are pretty much never not fighting. They're always killing each other over something.
Right.
You know that's why they're still alive to this day? How do you think they survived the Ottoman subjugation, the Soviet Union, Tito of Yugoslavia, all that crap?
Yeah.
Because they are unfucking relenting. They don't give up. And number three, what will it take to end the Civil War? Big warning. I'm very deeply cynical and skeptical of human goodness.
Okay.
So I think that the only thing that will end the Civil War is either the real Second American Civil War or, quite frankly, World War III.
Okay.
But that's just my stuff.
Okay, that
What
makes.
do you think?
No, listen, I would agree, and it's interesting. I will never. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Julian?
I'm 20. I live in California. And
okay.
if I'm being honest, I do personally, honestly think, pardon me if it seems rude, but I just think that your generation is kind of out of touch with mine.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know,
of course, yeah. Listen. I don't take any offense to that at all. I didn't know what the term cap meant until my first appearance on Fresh and Fit. I was like, what is this no cap thing? So listen, I don't take offense with the fact that Gen Xers don't understand Gen Zers, man. So you're getting no hate from me on that, man.
Okay. Do you agree or whatever? Like, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're right. And the reason I asked you how old you were is I'm 44. I'm more than twice your age. 9/11 happened when I was 24 years old. And I remember how divided the country was before 9/11. After 9/11, I would say a good year and a half, 2 years after 9/11, we were truly the United States of America. Everyone loved everyone. We were all, God bless the USA. We're going to stand up against this tyranny and this and that and the other. Well, now, almost 2.5 decades later, the United States could not be more divided now. It took a tragedy and the deaths of 3,000 individuals for us to actually act like the United States of America. And so as far as you thinking, hey, there's a Civil War Part 2 or World War III will end the Manosphere Civil War, I think there's definitely some truth to that.
I agree. I just feel like it deep down, again, I feel like the haters that you're talking about, it is money. Me personally, it's the moral thing. Like I said, if you're going to say, where are the mentors for young men, please look in the mirror. But
Sure.
other than that, for those haters, for the other haters, to be honest, it's money for them.
Yeah.
They're just motivated by fucking money. They're fucking jealous, and they want to do what you do. They don't understand that even John D. Rockefeller, he was born to a wealthy family, but he didn't become fucking more powerful than the United States president just by willing things into existence. And I think this is the problem women have too. Women seem to think that men can just will things into existence.
Oh God, no. We gotta work it, man. We gotta work it, brother.
Yeah, we gotta fucking work. You gotta work like 10, 20 years.
That's all right.
More even, sometimes.
Julian, thank you very much for calling in, man. I like the energy. Good energy, man. Thanks for calling.
You too. Have a nice day, okay?
You too, bud. Take care. Yeah, I agree with Julian. I think real world strife is the only real thing that is going to end the Manosphere Civil War. It's got to be the United States Civil War. That's just all there is to it, man. Wow, for a young guy, man, I like it when I like young guys with energy, man. I think it's just the cool, because young guys with energy, they remind me a lot of myself. They really do remind me a lot of myself. So it gives me a little bit of hope out there. Let us go to Chris in Albuquerque. Chris in Albuquerque, what are your thoughts on the Manosphere Civil War? Is it ever going to end? And if so, what's it going to take to end it? But first, answer the question, why do you think there is a Manosphere Civil War?
Hey, Donovan. Thank you very much for having me on.
Of course.
So to answer your first question, why do I think there's a Manosphere Civil War?
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it's a lot of different reasons. The main reason I would say, and it's not just as simple as to say ego, but I think ego is probably the biggest part of it.
Okay.
I also think that there's I'm not trying to blow smoke or anything here, but you're a really intelligent person. Okay, Rollo's a really intelligent person. Kevin Samuels. Okay, so our sphere has some pretty sharp-witted, really intelligent guys who know what they're doing, know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of us, we watch you guys and we want to be like you guys, and not everybody, has the same level of intelligence. I'm just taking a stab in the dark, and I would say that you three, I would even include Myron in this.
Oh,
I think
yes.
that all of your guys' IQ falls within the gifted range. And I think there's a lot of people who might be under that, who might just have average intelligence or just slightly above average intelligence, maybe even slightly under average intelligence, who have the ability to create content.
Yeah.
But, maybe their intelligence isn't that high, but maybe their charisma is a little higher.
Right. Right. Are you calling me a genius, Chris? Is that what you're implying? Because if you are, please keep talking.
Unfortunately, Donovan, people with a gifted level of intelligence aren't quite in the genius range.
Wow. It's interesting. And I like where your head is at. The interesting thing is, man, is that one thing that I love about this community, the Red Pill community, y'all aren't stupid. You guys are no dum-dums. You guys are not easily led astray. When someone comes into the community, you guys vet them very thoroughly. And a lot of times you guys don't even have to, because of the intellect of this community. You guys know who spits the real shit and the people who spit the bullshit, right? There have been many people who have come and gone in this community who have tried to make something of themselves, but because people in this community figure out, okay, wait a minute, we heard Myron Gaines say that the other day. Well, we heard this guy say that the other day. Now, every once in a while, there comes along a person who does a very good job of parroting other people, and that's not a crime. And Kevin Samuel said this on my show on the 6 one time when I had Stephen Lucario on. Stephen Lucario, obviously, and shout out to the both of them, but they've always felt some type of way that alpha male strategies kind of seemingly came out of nowhere. And Kevin had to tell them, look, just because you said it first does not mean you're the best. Sometimes, just because you're the first to do it doesn't mean you're the best. Steve the Dean has been around way longer than Alpha Male Strategies, but AMS is a lot better at what he does than Steve is, and that's why AMS is where he is and Steve is where he's at. So I think this community is very, very good at sort of filtering out guys who really are the grifters. We got a lot of guys who are grifters in this community who call other people grifters. Kevin Ray Wilder is a grifter. That's obvious. MGTOW Dictionary is a grifter. So anybody who comes on and they're doing 8-hour live streams and they're talking shit about everybody, I mean, they really have to point the finger at themselves, as far as I'm concerned.
Donovan, you said a lot there, and I agree with most of it, except for maybe some of the names you mentioned that I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with Alpha Male Strategies. I've heard the name floated around here and there, but I don't follow this person. I've never indulged content from that person.
Okay.
You also mentioned another name, but I don't want to talk trash on air because I don't know the guy. But anyway, when I was talking to Devin, she asked me, what did I want to talk to you about?
Okay.
And I mean, I already talked about ego, and I talked about difference in intelligence levels. There's another thing that I think that we really need to have a conversation about in this space, and we're a community of men that believe that there are alpha males and beta males, and there's a general consensus that it's better to be alpha. Okay, and I think that what happens a lot of time, and I think that this is probably the source of a lot of the problems that we're having in this community, is that a lot of people are operating on a fake it till you make it strategy. And I said I wasn't going to talk trash. I'm going to do it. I really think Steve the Dean Williams is one of those guys.
Okay. You think he's one of what guys?
I've been watching one of the fake it till you make it guys.
And you know what, Chris? I agree. Love Steve the Dean. He used to be a very good friend of mine. But yeah, it is. And listen, I'm sure that there are people that I'm cool with who are cool with Steve. It is my opinion that Steve the Dean is not who he says he is. So I agree with that.
Well, I mean, I've been watching you guys since you and Rollo and everybody, the Rule Zero guys, since you guys were all part of the Red Man group.
Yeah. Oh wow. So you go way back, huh?
A few years at least. And I remember when you guys split, and I was like trying not to pick sides. I was just like, okay, so those guys are having some beef that doesn't have anything to do with me.
Yeah.
They're generating content.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to watch, anybody that's going to provide value to my life. I'm just going to indulge that content. And he's not the only person. I don't want to single him out, but I mean, there are a number of people that I've seen, and I'm watching them, and it's like, you're playing a character. You're playing a character on a camera because you're aware that there's a camera. You're being extra. Like, I'm detecting artifice. I'm not sensing authenticity.
Right.
No,
I'm with
I think
you.
that people, and it's like you said, the guys in this space, like this community, the audience, like, we're really good at filtering this stuff. I mean,
yes.
We're attracted to your guys' content for a reason.
Right. Yeah, it is because of the authenticity. I want to make this clear. I don't think Steve the Dean is a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy at all. I had known him for years. I had great experiences. I had great experiences with him. But in finding out that he is not even close to who he says he is, along with a couple of other things that had happened behind the scenes, I decided to separate myself from him. This doesn't mean I think he's a horrible person. It's just that at this point in my YouTubing career, it's very important for me to be able to differentiate and separate myself from people who could potentially do me harm. If you've followed me since before the Red Man group, I'm sure you're well aware of the personnel mistakes that I have made. And listen, we've all been burned in the past, but I've trusted the wrong people in my real life, and I've trusted the wrong people in this content creator life. And so I've been burned more than a few times. And so, listen, you have to protect yourself. You have to, and I'm not really as vigilant as I should be. Kevin Samuels always used to tell me, Donovan, you got to be vigilant. You got to be vigilant. But I'm a lot more vigilant than I used to be. But I've been burned by a lot of people, man. I've been burned by O'Shea. I got burned by Steve the Dean. I got burned by Anthony Johnson. I've probably been burned by other people that I'm not even aware of. But I have no problem. I have absolutely no problem with saying on the air, yes, the reason why I am no longer in contact with Steve the Dean Williams is because he is not authentic. He is not the person he says he is. Now, some people will turn around and be like, oh, Donovan, you're such a loser. You lied about Devin's age. Yes, I did. I lied about Devin's age, and I got caught. In hindsight, I should not have. Why? Because there was no need for me to lie about Devin's age. Devin looks better now at 44 than she did when I met her at 39, and she'll be the first to tell you that. Listen, it was a mistake I made. I wish that I hadn't made it. That's something I wish I could undo, but it's what's done is done. What I speak to is my record. I have a clear track record. I've got all the receipts. I've got text messages receipts. I've got books, courses, people calling in all the time. I know who I am, and I know that I'm authentic through and through. But when you have to do when you rub elbows with someone who is that far off from who he portrays himself to be on camera, and then the other stuff, I had no choice but to sever ties with him. I wish him all the best. I wish him all the best. I wish him the best luck, but I can't swim with him anymore. Another guy is Allende. I trusted Allende. He ended up burning me. Not to put everybody's business out here, but Allende, just to keep it, I guess, I don't want to get too proprietary, Allende is a walking liability, okay? I got sued by 2 people in Las Vegas because of Allende. There was that and more than a few other incidents that told me, whoa, this dude makes bad decision after bad decision, one of which we are all privy to when he literally walked into Myron's apartment during Fresh and Fit, and we had all that standoff. So I have to be very, very careful with who I align myself with. I have to be a little bit more discriminatory because a lot of people call me an asshole and I'm this and I'm that. I think I'm way too trusting of men. I'm very discriminatory against women, but I trust men way too easily, and that's gotten me burned. Allende burned me. Like I said, Steve the Dean burned me. Anthony burned me. O'Shea burned me. That's not happening anymore. I'll give you the last word.
Oh, so first of all, Donovan, I just want to say I really hope I didn't throw any extra logs on the fire and talking trash. I said I wasn't going to, and then I slipped, and I ended up doing it.
Chris, let me stop you right there. I can promise you that whatever logs you've thrown onto the fire, just given what I've had to, not what I've been through, I've handled adversity. And if somebody wants to say, oh my God, Steve Donovan said this and that, trust me, given what I've been through, he is the least, I'm not worried about him, so don't even sweat it, man.
All right, cool. I'd also like to really quick address the people out there operating on the fake it till you make it
do it
strategy. Then I'd also like to tell you whether or not I think the Civil War is going to end.
Okay, let's do it.
I'll let you go if that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, so all right, so I work in a medical field. I don't want to say exactly what industry.
Okay.
But I can tell you, I've seen people, come through, and people want to get ahead. They want to make a name for themselves, right? I mean, it's normal, it's natural. But what we do in my industry, okay, we can either save lives or we can take lives. Okay, we can jeopardize lives by trying to fake it till you make it. Okay, there are times where there's room for faking it till you make it, and then there's times where there's no room for that because it's a matter of life and death or safe for other people's safety.
Right.
So I would like to encourage guys to just be real about where you're at, what your competence level is. Do you know what you're talking about? There's no shame in being studious. There's no shame in admitting when you don't know what you're doing yet.
Right.
Just don't bite off more than you can chew.
Yep.
Because people can sense it.
And again, I agree with you 100%. And don't be ashamed to correct yourself when you're wrong. Hey, like I said, I lied about Dev's age. I got caught doing it. It is what it is. So don't run away from that stuff, guys. If you do wrong, admit it and move on.
Well said, Donovan. And lastly, just because things like this exist, because there are egos and because there are some people who are, more prone to destruction than to building and things of that nature. I just think that human nature is so flawed, and we're so tribal. I think that we can become stronger, but I don't think that the infighting will ever end.
Okay, and I would agree, and I agree with your premise too. It's just human nature. If everybody thinks, if the majority of people think one thing is good, there's going to be a group of people who think it's not, and they're going to do their level best to let everyone know, wait a minute, you guys are all on this, but I'm here to tell you why. And a lot of our haters and a lot of our detractors like to pretend that they know something that no one else does, and it's just like, okay, whatever, fine. I'll give you the last word, Chris.
My last word is just that this was a great call. Thanks for having me on the show, Donovan.
Absolutely. Chris in Albuquerque, thank you very much for calling me a genius. You guys heard it here first. Chris in Albuquerque says Donovan is a genius. Maybe not in so many words, but I think we can all read between the lines there, right? Let us go to Awstrike in Maryland. Awstrike in Maryland, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, Donovan.
So,
shout out to you for surviving so much controversy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Still kicking.
Oh God, man! I tell you what. You know what? It's funny, man. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I'm not all into the cliches, but I am so much just having gone through what I've gone through since I've started this online presence thing. It does give you a lot of confidence. So when things do happen, it doesn't, like, things that happen don't really faze me anymore. It sort of cratered last year with the whole doxing situation. There's nothing else that I could encounter that could even come close to that. So whatever comes my way, I know I'll be more than adept at handling it for sure. So I appreciate that.
Amen. So yeah, I have no problem when members of the sphere disagree on some points, because part of the scientific method is to challenge the facts to see which of them still stand after rigorous scrutiny.
Okay.
In fact, I wish people were even more outspoken when they have disagreements.
Yeah.
Because at times it can sound a bit like an echo chamber in here.
Yep.
But when you're insecure about your own knowledge, wisdom, and beliefs, then when someone shares a contradictory belief, you might be tempted to counterattack their character, reputation, and intention.
There you go.
And if you do that, you better know that what you're exposing about them is a fact. Because if not, you're only going to expose yourself as a hater or a clout chaser.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right, man. Yeah. Not only are you exposing yourself as a hater or a clout chaser, you are exposing yourself to litigation. I'll just leave it at. It's so funny. There are so many people in the other guy's camp. My assistant Heather will tell me sometimes, they're like, dude, nobody over there thinks that you're actually. I'm like, that's fine. Let them think that. Let them think that. I'm not a quick reactionary person. I didn't see the documentary. Oh my God, I have to do. Nope. I collected my information. I'm still collecting information, hired a private investigator, hired 2 different law firms, and I'm going to make sure things are airtight. That way, when the hammer does come down, there's no loopholes to get out of it. And so, yeah, I mean, listen, if they want to use nothing happening as a false sense of security, by all means, nope, I am not doing anything. Nope. I sincerely hope that he really has bought into that. Because when the hammer comes down, and it most certainly will, I want it to have all the shock and awe you can handle. I'll give you the last word.
Yep. Yeah, another log for the fire.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. So I like what you said about 9/11, and it's true that we tend to infight when there's no common external enemy to occupy our attention.
Yes.
But it seems to me that most of the quality successful creators are on one side of this battle. So that tells me there's several haters and clout chasers on the other side.
There you go. There you go. It's funny, Ostrike, is one thing that I have noticed is that there is a common denominator with all of our haters. Our haters don't offer solutions. They really don't. They talk about offering solutions. They say, here's the problem and here's what possibly needs to be done. But the vast majority of our haters do not offer solutions. All they do is, women ain't shit. The grifters of the Manosphere are exploiting your pain for money. That's it. They don't offer any solutions themselves. They don't tell you how to do anything. How to build a quality woman from the ground up. How to master the game. Womanese 101. How to decipher what she says versus what she means. I don't see any how-to videos on the other side except for how to try to mass flag somebody's channel. So yeah, you're right. The common denominator, as far as I'm concerned, is that they don't offer solutions. Which, I mean, and it's not hard to figure out why. It's because they don't have solutions. Kevin, dude, I know 100 Kevins now. Kevin Savo just put out a video on his channel, and it was weird. And he's 100% right as far as intent. If you're the type of guy who's just putting out videos that appeal to haters, at some point somebody's going to wake up and be like, well, wait a minute, no one's really taking this guy seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if the only value you have to offer is exposing charlatans, and then, people can see they're not even charlatans, what value do you have to offer?
Yep, there you go. Ostrike in Maryland, thanks for calling the show, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Appreciate that very, very much. Ostrike in Maryland, Daily Caller. Man, the callers, I swear to God, man, you guys are getting better and better every day. I love talking to you guys, man. This is one of my favorite things to do. Let us go to John in New York. John in New York, you're on Live at Donovan. So what are your thoughts on the Civil War? Why is there a Civil War? Will it ever end? And if so, what's going to end it?
Hey, Donovan. Great to talk to you, man.
Thanks, you too, man.
So, can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Excellent. So I think, number one, the Civil War, we have to be honest about what online stuff is.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And this is a mostly online thing. And all of my experiences with just men in general from all walks of life, they tend to get along much better in person when they're actually doing stuff.
Absolutely.
Than when we're online. And if anybody is watching this show is a fan of sports,
oh,
you'll recognize that men also love to argue.
Yep.
Even when they agree on the 99%, they'll find the 1%,
Yep.
zero in on it, and argue about that.
Right.
It's stupid, and it's one of the dumb things that we men like to do, because
Yeah.
it's also nice, right?
Yes.
It's the purse of men.
Right.
Right? It's our shoe shopping. We
There
just
you
like
go.
to go online.
That's great. Sorry. I love that. Listen, that's a great analogy. It's our shoe shopping. That's perfect.
And it's okay to indulge in it. But we have to always have it within the context of what it is, and understand that for the people who have channels, it's beneficial to have an exciting discussion,
Yes.
a hyperbolic version of your points.
Right.
And then for the person who disagrees, to clip the hyperbolic version and agree with that, rather than have an intelligent philosophical discussion about it. And for the people who are in the comments section, not everybody, of course,
Sure.
but a lot of them, they take too much self-esteem from winning an argument online.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So in that context, the Civil War will never end. But on the flip side, right, when people are having a war, it's because they're desperate and they feel there's something to lose. Now, the socio-political context, we can talk about how they're sent to those wars, but that's not what it's about.
Right.
But when you see a bunch of people sitting around the table, smoking cigars, drinking quality spirits, and smiling, it's because they had something to gain.
That's right.
And this is why men get along so well when they're doing great things, because when you become obsessed with your greatness, when you become obsessed with getting certain results, you bond over what works. And I think even within the Civil War, so to speak, in that context, if we had like some stupid convention where every single content creator got together and was just like, hey man, I know we went through our stuff online, but good to see you in person, how you doing?
Absolutely.
People would get along, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
people would get along much better.
Yes.
So just keep it in context. And I think for the people who get so hyped up in this drama, I'm sorry to ramble on you.
No, keep going. You're good. This is good.
It's my answer. If you find yourself so enticed by this drama, just check in and see, is this Real Housewives of the Manosphere you guys are looking at?
There you go.
Or you really checked in with how this stuff is affecting you,
right?
Whether or not you're truly concerned for other human beings. You know what I'm saying? What your
Yeah.
greatness is all about. Not
Yeah.
the lecture, but, when this kind of drama goes down and I'm really trying to get stuff done, I don't care, man, and nobody
Right.
else should either.
Right.
Unless you're personally involved.
You're absolutely
So
right,
that's
John.
That's my as short as I could make it answer on that.
Let me ask you this, John, before I let you go. What do you do you think the Civil War, so you think the Manosphere Civil War will never end? In a perfect world, what do you think could possibly end the Manosphere Civil War? Or is that just not something that's possible at this point?
Well, I liken it actually to the kind of sports debate, right?
Okay.
Ideally, Stephen A. Smith and I'll pick a J.J. Redick
Okay.
will never agree on TV.
No.
But because that's entertainment, that's bonding, male bonding, again, us being stupid, having our fun.
Yeah, right.
But when it comes down time to like making money, carving out a living, your real values, that we agree and get along with those things.
There you
It's
go.
not about ending the Civil War. It's about allowing the Civil War to exist in its context, which is ultimately not that important, except for the edge cases where people do stuff like dox people or stalk people or
For sure.
get personal. But excluding that stuff, when it's just trash talk, that's why everybody needs to play sports, man. Because you have to understand,
Yeah, man.
during the game, you ain't this, your mama that, you never
Yep.
could this,
Yep.
garbage, you trash.
Yep.
After the game, yo,
Oh
I'm
my
getting
God.
Gatorade, who wants one?
Right. And you see it, you see it in both MMA and in boxing. In the weeks leading up, I'm going to kick his ass. I'm going to knock him out in the third round. They get in each other's face. Somebody said something about his mom and I fucked her sister and blah, 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 blah. And they hate each other. They honestly hate each other. They're nose to nose. They duke it out. They beat the crap out of each other. What's the first thing they do when that last bell rings? They throw their arms around each other because this is, relationships with men are cultivated and crystallized in the crucible of combat. There is no way you could still, even if, I've been in many, many fights in my life, and I have never disliked a person more after the fight than I did before the fight. It's something, to me, it's something about, I don't know, maybe it's just the way that men communicate, but not that I became friends with everybody that I fought with, but I was at least cordial, whether I beat him or he beat me. Okay, you tagged me in the eye, I broke your nose, let's go have a beer. I've actually had a beer with a couple of guys that I've been in fights with. Something about physical combat is just the way we as men think. That's how we argue with one another. We beat the shit out of each other, and at the end of the day, if we both live, we say, you know what? Whatever we were fighting about probably wasn't that important anyway. You've got a good right hook. I've got a good left uppercut. Let's respect each other, agree to disagree, and move on with life. I'll give you the last word, John.
Yeah, well, I think you said a great thing there because it's not about necessarily wanting the Civil War to end,
right?
But about integrating that into our identity as men, as it already is.
Okay.
Right? This is what we grow from. This is what we enjoy. We simulate war so that when real wars happen, we can trust each other.
Huh. Wow.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not about ending this thing and having some illusion of peace, because to us, peace is terrifying in the sense that it can mean stagnation and a lack of development.
Wow.
Most great technology happens during wartime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we simulate war. That's what sports is. It's a simulation of war.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
chess, but with real people. Why do we do that? So we have a reason to get faster and stronger and compete and so on and
To
so forth.
stay on
If
edge,
The entire
to- Yeah.
Exactly. No, go ahead. Did you want to say something?
No, I was gonna piggyback off what you said. If the entire manosphere were all kumbaya, I don't think the information would be as good. Not that I'm sitting here saying that the Civil War is a good thing, but I agree. If a man does not put himself in and I was talking about this with Ed Lattimore on his Instagram Live earlier. If a man doesn't put himself in uncomfortable physical situations, like I don't know if you've ever rolled around on a jiu-jitsu mat. Jiu-jitsu's hard. And there's something about like your left elbow is about to snap, but you've got his ankle, and you're thinking to yourself, dude, if I can get under his right foot, it's game over. I'm not thinking about apple pie. I'm not thinking about my girlfriend's ass. I'm thinking, how can I get up under this dude's right foot so I can go ahead and win this match? The hairs on the back of your neck stand up. The nervous system in your spine, everything lines up for that one singular focus. And then when it's all over, when he taps out, when you tap out, or when the last bell rings, you can finally relax. But what you've done is you've built up those nerves of steel. And I think a lot of guys, I mean, look, we live in a very posh society. Things are almost too easy for us. And so when things are this easy, it's almost like we want to go looking for a fight because that's just the man thing to do.
Donovan, I couldn't agree more. And for that reason, I think there are two important things. Number one, men need to retain the ability to be able to fight and compete without mistaking sports for war.
Okay. Wow, that's very good.
You know what
Yep.
And number two, the real thing is, are you okay? And I mean that for everybody involved, the people competing, the people watching, the people arguing about who's better, who's not. You never want somebody spending their last dollar on the pay-per-view event.
No.
Right?
No, of course not.
If you can't afford your house at home, don't worry about the pay-per-view. Get back to real life.
Right. I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I think emotionally, especially with the internet's still a brand new thing to us. We're still evolving with this.
Yeah.
People need to check in when they get involved in this theater about does this mean too much to you? Like, is this really what you're hyped about? Or are you hyped about the fact that you're not sure about that job or that girl, or you're not happy with your body, you're not happy with your friends?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what people are bringing to the comment section. And those are the coals that are going on these fires, is these kind of insecurities that they have. I'll leave it at this, the whole point of the Manosphere, the whole point of the Red Pill is to give men the tools to improve their situation.
Right.
So if you're using this drama to allow your situation to be more obsessed with online fights and that kind of thing, you're doing it wrong, whether you're correct or incorrect. It doesn't matter whether or not the Cowboys are actually trash or not. They are.
They are.
But they are. We can do. Everybody knows that they are. But if that's more important than your life, then it doesn't matter if you win that argument about the Cowboys. What matters is that you get your stuff together. And the same thing here with the Civil War. It doesn't really matter who's right or who's wrong unless you're personally involved and someone's actually going to get hurt.
There you go.
Ultimately, what matters is, are you having fun with this, or are you too invested in this online drama and you need to get your stuff together?
Let me ask you something, John, before I let you go, because I know a lot of people are probably going to think, they're probably going to ask, okay, John, what do you mean by check-in? I think I know what you mean by check-in. Like if shit gets too real, you have to check in. In other words, check yourself mentally. Okay, why am I really here? Is that what you mean? Or in your own words, what do you mean by check-in?
Oh, that's exactly it, man. Marcus Aurelius, man. Meditation.
There you go.
You
there
have
you go.
to, at some point, sit down and get an inventory of everything you've done during the day and why you did it. You don't have to do it every day, but at least ideally once a week you go, how did I perform this week, not just physically, but emotionally, according to my values?
Wow.
Was I nastier than I need to be?
Right.
Was I pettier
than
I need to
be?
You know what I'm saying? Was I more involved in this online drama than I needed to be?
Right.
And we're all humans. It's okay to be like, you know what?
Sure.
I'm going to give myself a whole 3 hours a week to laugh at Donovan. Ha ha, you got caught. Ha ha, ha ha.
Right.
I got 2 more. Ha ha. Right? I got like 6, 7 ha's on you.
Right.
And then go back to your life, because you don't mean it at the end of the day.
Sure.
You know, and that's what I mean by check-in is, always having a balance, because the individual, and this is the one thing, people only like to hold content creators accountable, but everybody in this that's a man is a man. Donovan is not superior, and he can't be held to a superior standard.
That's right.
For Rolo,
there you go,
or whoever, they're all just men. And as a man, even if you're in the comment section, even if you're younger, whatever it is, beta, alpha, whatever you consider yourself,
right?
You are responsible for what you contribute. And when we have an intelligent, measured comment section, that contributes. That changes things.
Yes, it does.
Because the creators are always going to respond to that. And again, it doesn't mean we can't have fun. I brought up a lot of ways that we have a bunch of silly fun. It's all good, man.
Sure.
Have fun with these, little quote-unquote civil wars. But hold yourself to a standard. Don't just have the standard for the people on screen to be perfect, and when they're not perfect, you jump up and be like, I caught you not being perfect.
There you go. Because they know that people aren't perfect. That's one thing that's one thing that haters have an advantage. Haters, like a guy like me, I can never ever be wrong, because if I'm wrong, somebody points that out. Haters can be wrong all the time. They only have to be right once. Ha ha, Donovan got caught in a lie. I knew he was a complete fraud, even though he's written 200 articles, 11 books, and has 12 courses, and people around the world, he's changed their lives. John, listen, man, this is probably one of the best calls I've ever had, man. Thanks for chiming in, buddy.
Great talking to you, brother. Have a good one.
All right, man. Absolutely. John in New York, man, dropping the knowledge. We got Nas in Minnesota and Hellfong in Illinois coming up next. That was a really, really good call, and he said a lot there that I want to address here quickly. Number one, I totally agree, and I've said this before. Sometimes this is a business, okay? In this business, if you want eyeballs, you have to be both. You have to be entertaining, educational, or both. Now, if you're only entertaining and not educational, you can build an audience. But if you're only educational but not entertaining, you will never build an audience, right? Why do you think kids hate going to school? Because it's not really entertaining. But if you are educational and entertaining, we call it edutainment or edutainment or intercation. That's when your brand can shoot up into the stratosphere. Migrant and Fresh, highly entertaining, very educational. Kevin Samuels, highly entertaining, very educational. I'd like to think that I'm educational and entertaining, which is why I have the following that I have. Another thing he said is when haters come, like when the big time haters come after me, you guys know who they all are. The only time they attack my argument is when they're trying to overcomplicate it to make themselves look smart. Guys like Kevin Ray Wilder, what he likes to do is he likes to take somebody's argument and he likes to redefine everything so that it fits his narrative. Kevin likes to overcomplicate things to make him sound like he's the only one with the antidote. Rather. And even though sexual relations can be complex at times, but it's really not. It's actually very simple. Why do you think some of our staunchest detractors always tell us, Donovan, you and Myron and Kevin say the same things over and over again? Yeah, we say the same things over and over again in different ways because it's really quite simple. Masculine men like feminine women like masculine men. That's really what the basis of the message is. So most of my detractors, my hugest detractor doesn't really talk about my content at all. All he does is talk about my old fat wife, who is not my wife. Donovan's wife is old and fat. Donovan said this. Donovan has a criminal record. Okay, if you think my girlfriend is old and fat, that's fine. That's your opinion. But did I lie? Am I not telling the truth? Are the things that I talk about on my podcast, are they not true? Of course they are. Of course they're true. That's why people follow me. But my biggest detractor doesn't want people to follow me. So rather than saying Donovan Sharpe said this and that and the other, so you shouldn't trust him, just look at my track record, right? And the people that actually bought into that bullshit, they're the ones that end up losing. And do you think that guy gives a shit about the people who have unfollowed me or stopped supporting me? Do you think he gives a damn about them afterwards? No. All he cares is that he damaged me. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Also, guys, when you meet men up close and personal, a lot of that animosity can go away. Myself and Tommy Sotomayor, I'd never met Tommy Sotomayor, ever. He and I had a little bit of a falling out because I wanted him to speak at the first CME. We couldn't come to an agreement on the contract terms, so I decided to pull out. Well, there was a miscommunication on Tommy's side, and he thought that I just ghosted him. That clearly was not the case. He went on and ranted, blah, 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 blah. The very first time I saw Tommy Sotomayor was in the lobby of the hotel I was staying at Miami. I walked right up to him and shook his hand. He looked me right in the eye and shook my hand. After all of the shit that we had talked about one another, as soon as we shook hands, all of the anger and anxiety, all of that ebbed away. This is the difference between men and women. The physical presence of a man, just a handshake or a fist to the face, does wonders. No, I'm not advocating violence, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Something that Kevin Savo talked about as far as all of the hater content out there. What those guys all have in common is that they need a boogeyman. Okay? If you're a content creator who does nothing but talk shit about other people, you need a boogeyman. And if you need a boogeyman, you're not a content creator. Now, people can say, well, Siskel and Ebert, you guys probably don't realize who those guys are. Those are big-time movie critics. Well, their stuff stands on their own merit. But if your content is reliant upon the boogeyman, always going after Rollo Tomasi did this, Myron Gaines said that, da-da-da-da-da. Those aren't content creators. Those are guys who are just sort of eating and mooching off of people. So very, very good call by John in New York, man. That was an excellent call. One of the best I've had in a while. Let us go to Naz in Minnesota. Naz in Minnesota, you're on Live at Donovan. What are your thoughts on the Manosphere Civil War? What's the cause? Will it end? And how will it end?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my name is Matt, and
Matt?
I have to say when it comes to Manosphere. Yes.
Okay.
What I have to say when it comes to the Manosphere, this stuff's about to go overboard because too many people are doxing each other. Too many people are being real too effeminate instead of going back to the whole teaching men how to be good with their finances, stuff like that. We out here still talking about this who did this in his past, this in his past. That gotta go. That seriously has to go.
How do you think? How do you think that should be handled? Because I agree. I think all the doxing and all that stuff, I think that should go too. But I mean, there's only so much you can do, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say come together though. But there are dangerous things that are bred out of dangerous things. So I'd say, like, once, like, I would say, like, take the first step, and, like, you know, like, y'all can just, like, sit down. I would say that to a degree, though.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing is that a mutual acquaintance of mine and my main hater, last spring, he tried to step in and say, hey, you know what, can we squash this, blah, 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 blah. My hater told him, all right, I'll think about it. I told the guy trying to squash things, I was like, dude, he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop, and the reason he's not going to stop is because I exist. So I agree with you. The best thing to do is to sit down and talk it out, but I'm not gonna, and I'm willing to sit down and talk anything out. I'll bury the hatchet with anybody. Like I've said on the air before, look, man, at some point, maybe I will bury the hatchet with O'Shea. Maybe I will bury the hatchet with Steve the Dean Williams. Maybe I will bury the hatchet with with some other guys that I've had a falling out with. I will never bury the hatchet with the other guy. He went 100 bridges too far. Number one. Number two, I've got legal action against him. There is absolutely no turning back from that, nor do I want to turn it back. So while I agree with you that, hey, we should sit down and we should talk this out, there are certain people that's not going to work. Certain people only understand the language of the court system, court summons, court orders. So while I agree that the best thing for men to do is to sit down and iron it out, it's not going to work with that guy. Number two, a lot of it, and I agreed with what John said. Hey, throw on the boxing gloves and blah, 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 blah. I mean, look, dude, like I'm literally twice that dude's size, number one. I would never, listen, if he were to challenge me to a boxing match, I would have to tell him, look, I'll box you, but I'm going to have I'll have to have my left hand tied behind my back. That's the only way it's going to be a fair fight because I'm bigger than him, I'm stronger than him, and all this other kind of stuff. So, I would love to be able to, box him like Preach. A lot of people say that Preach is this, MMA guy, blah 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 blah. I don't buy it. I think that I could be wrong, but if I were to get into the ring against Preach, I think I would fuck his ass up. He looks like a tub who hasn't been in a fight in a decade. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. But I could never be in a boxing match with the other guy unless there was some sort of stipulation like I've got to have my left hand. Because if I hit him with a left hand, cleanly, I'd probably give him a concussion. I'll give you the last word, Matt.
That would be cool to see a boxing match, though. But in this space, you got to tell men to make up their minds. Either you go with the past and like run around there, or you gotta go with the future and like legitimately help men. Because there's actually another thing I want to talk about. It's called like mental health. Like you gotta like you gotta start talking about mental health on this channel because in the black community, it's like to this day we're still losing our minds. And that goes for all men too. Yeah, we're all losing our minds to some varying degree. And it's fucking everybody up. It is. Unfortunately, Matt, the black community doesn't claim me as one of their own. So if somebody's going to talk about mental illness in the black community, that's going to have to be Kevin Samuels because the black community didn't listen to me. But I appreciate the sentiment. Matt in Minnesota, I appreciate you calling. I appreciate the candor. Let us go to Helfong in Illinois. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Doing real good, man. Getting ready for the CME.
Awesome. And then, you know what? And full disclosure, personally, if there was a fight between you and Preach, you look like you got a left like a fallen safe. I'm pretty sure that you got this one easily. but I had to call in because there is so much eerie familiarity to all the stuff you're talking about because in my world, I did endure a civil war.
Oh, okay.
And there is similarities here that are just I cannot deny.
Okay.
As I mentioned before to you in the past, I used to co-own an independent wrestling promotion. And there's just well, to put it plainly, there were tons of different wrestling promotions. And everybody wanted to be the top dog. And that's why I think this is one of the causes of why there's a civil war, is that everybody's trying to gun for superiority. Yes, the money plays a part, but it is that the money is a byproduct of that superiority.
Yeah.
And, it's just, they went through a lot of lengths, just like you've been talking about. They've exposed company secrets or sabotage shows.
Mm-hmm.
There was always some sort of act being done against each other in the Chicagoland indie scene.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And I'll also tell you this, Hellfong. This is why I think this Manosphere civil war is happening. It is because of the money. And like what some of these people don't realize is that the pie is big enough for everybody. It's big enough for everybody. But I'll tell you this, the reason why the other guy with that other convention has gone so hard at me is because he doesn't have a curveball. And I don't know if you guys don't understand what it means. He doesn't have a changeup, right? All he has is the convention. I have the CME, I've got my Womanese courses, I'm a multifaceted guy. I've written articles, I've got books, courses, I've got 100 different ways that I can make money doing this, and I do. He only has really the one. He's got the convention, that's going away, and then there's his YouTube channel. I don't want to give anything away, but he's not going to have that for too much longer either. And so when people go hard at you like that instead of competing, and at some point I had to understand, Hellfong, why does this guy not want to compete? And a buddy of mine says, well, Donovan, maybe he can't compete. Maybe he doesn't really know how to improve his product, so he's got to tear down yours. So it's definitely the money for him. I'll give you the last word on this, man.
Well, I mean, the one thing that separates you from, obviously, your competitor in this situation, not going to give him any clout, but you endure and outlast, you out-hustle, you promote, and in the same variance that my company did. We didn't care about the haters. We didn't care about the detractors. We didn't care about the people who were against us. We focused on what we were doing,
right,
just like you are.
Yeah.
And by doing such, that's what's going to make you endure and outlast these people. And I think in a nutshell, I mean, will the Civil War ever eventually end? Probably not. I mean, there's that saying that goes that you may have won the battle, but you didn't win the war.
Right.
I think the battle is just going to go ahead and temper down until the next, up and coming or up and rising or up and hater that's going to come up and about and is going to do this. But I mean, as long as you were staying on your purpose, man, and being that guiding light for all of us, that's all that matters. And then you just focus and power through, and trust me, like it happened in the wrestling companies around me, they all die off, they all end off, and they end up like disappearing. But you're going to be the one who's going to be standing above and looking down and knowing that you were the one who basically made that possible because you stayed on your purpose and stayed standing tall and stoic and focusing and basically running through everybody.
Hellfong in Illinois, thanks for chiming in, man. Well said.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Yeah, listen, all of the callers are on point. I'm going to go to Tom in Wisconsin next. Yeah, sometimes guys can't compete. Sometimes they really do have to stoop to these tactics. Unfortunately for them, it opens them up to, it really opens them up for a lot of hardship, a lot of legal hardship down the line. So, and again, my lawyer, I actually spoke to one of my lawyers today. We've got private investigators and all that other kind of stuff. I'm not going to go too far into that, but things have reached a boiling point. Things have reached desperation levels. The tactics that my opposition is using is going to get him in a lot. It's going to get him in a lot of trouble. So, and he has nobody to blame but himself, but it is what it is. Shout out to CigarMan85 with the $20 super chat. Hang on a second. There we go. I give $20 super chats Don DeMarco's. I'm not like Fresh and Fit where they can only give Don DeMarco's to $100 super chats and up. Anyway, CigarMan85 says the reason there is a civil war among men is because they are still trying to get the approval from the opposite sex. Some believe by attacking the RP community they will become attractive. Hashtag look at me. I am not them. Yeah, hashtag Kevin Ray Wilder. Kevin Ray Wilder thinks that coming after us is going to get him pussy. Guste Janis was one that he caped up for Guste, and he's not going to sniff her vagina. I actually had to end up blocking her on Instagram because she made this video talking about, I know you love me, Donovan, but blah 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 blah. And before I get to Tom in Wisconsin, this just goes to show, and we talk about this all the time. Women consistently mistake a man's sexual attention for a man's relationship attention. I have gone on record saying that, yes, Guste is very attractive. I wouldn't fuck her with somebody else's dick. She's a walking false EPAR accusation. But she seems to think, oh my God, Donovan loves me because he's always talking about how attractive I am. Dude, that's just another dumb bimbo who thinks that just because a man thinks she looks good, I actually think that she has good character or that I love her. Oh, no. That is not. So I had to block her because, again, she's acting like the little girl she is and mistaking a man acknowledging the truth. See, I can acknowledge the truth, but then out of the same breath be like, dude, I wouldn't fuck her with somebody else's dick. It is what it is. Ostripe with the $5 super chat says the Civil War will end once cancel culture starts winning again. Wow. Okay. Let us go to Tom in Wisconsin. This is the last caller of the evening. Tom in Wisconsin. You're on Live at Donovan. What you got on the topic, man?
Well, I just tuned in towards the end here, but your question was quite provocative. And the way I view all this in terms of the conflict amongst men over the Manosphere, or who's in charge of the Manosphere, who's the leader of the Manosphere, it boils down to principles and standards.
Okay.
And I've listened to the whole spectrum, all the way from Undead Chronic and Hammerhand to the guy that you're referring to, which I out of respect I won't mention his name because you won't say his name. And there are things that I agree with and I disagree with from even from you all the way around.
Sure.
I agree and I disagree with many things that are said. And this war doesn't end until we have essentially what is a complete collapse of the social fabric, and an end to this interconnected, remote, valuetainment society we've now come into, essentially.
Right.
Where you're entertaining people, but you're also providing value in terms of the information that you're providing. But with the way the distance is and with the way the competition is for dollars and traffic as you're referring to it, this is simply never going to end.
No.
You're going to have people who are going to disagree and are going to stand on their principles and their standards, and they're just not going to waver. And there's a whole section of men who view the dating coaches, the people who are trying to talk to men and get them to find ways to interact with women to get what they want, as a form of manipulation.
Right.
Which is what women do.
Right.
So like with that viewpoint, you're not going to negotiate any kind of a middle ground because it's a principle and a standard.
Yep, I agree.
And so like with the whole, for example, with the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, which is sort of like it's off into the weeds a little bit, but hear me out. Instead of Johnny Depp starting a YouTube channel, which he could have made millions of dollars with,
Jesus,
what does he do? He takes her to court and he sues her for $100 million. Bruh, you ain't gonna get not a penny from her.
Nope.
You would have been better off. You would have been better off by starting the YouTube channel and literally just responding to everything that she accuses you with facts and evidence.
There you go. That's all you can do.
And witness testimony.
That's all you can do. He's not going to get any money out of her, dude.
No, and he would have made millions, dude.
Yep.
He would have made millions.
Yep.
He could have brought in all of his his jam sessions. He could have started recording those and putting those up on YouTube.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would have been fantastic, but he blew his opportunity.
He did.
Because now it's all out in the open. But my point is that as men, we need to start making better decisions about what we're doing with our time and our energy. And this whole Manosphere fight, except for in a few instances where I can see where somebody on a basic human standard would be repugnant to what they think somebody is doing, a lot of this is just nonsense.
No, I agree.
Infighting is a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
And again, going back to the standards and qualification, or I forget what I said, but the basic standards and principles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if somebody's going to view Rollo Tomasi as a fraud because he's not a 6'2" Chad with a square jawline and huge muscles, who's not piping down chicks all day long, they're going, they view his work as it's got no merit.
Yeah, it's
because
ridiculous.
He's got no receipt.
It's dude, it's ridiculous.
And that may or may not be true depending upon that guy's experience. So that's what it's coming down to: principles, standards, the individual experience, and if somebody's thinking that their operation is being impacted by something that somebody else is going to do, it doesn't matter if it's red pill content. It doesn't matter what area of content it is. There's going to be a conflict.
Nope, I agree. I agree.
You can see that if you look at every area of YouTube creation and all the different areas, there's always infighting going on amongst different creators.
Nope, I agree. No, I totally agree. In every community, there's going to be disagreements and there's going to be infighting. The difference here is that the main guy at the head of all this guy uses dirty tactics. He doxes people. He doxed Rollo, doxed Rollo's daughter, doxed his wife, harassed his daughter. He doxed me. He doxed Devin. Those are underhanded, cowardly tactics.
Those are personal attacks.
Yeah.
Those aren't principles and standards.
No, of course not. Of course not. He knows that. He knows that he can't beat. He knows that he can't beat me on my, on my actual work. So he says, you know what? I'm going to go after him and blah 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 blah. So, again, this is. I mean, like I said, he's going to pay the price one way or another. So we'll get that all squared away.
Well, I hope that was a good end to the Collins.
Yeah.
Donovan. I really think that at the end of all of the nonsense, what I said I think stands above all, and it comes down to principles and standards. And unfortunately, there is no common sense in this human society we call America.
That's the truth.
And there's all kinds of shit going on that goes beyond just the manosphere. But as men, if we can stick to our principles and our standards and control our meat, our money, our energy, our attention, and our time, and focus on setting goals, achieving goals, and building for the future, it really isn't going to matter as much what else is going on around us.
There you go.
Because we're going to naturally surround ourselves with the things and the people that are going to provide us that hedge of protection that uniform religious belief once provided for society. Now it's really just an individual effort, especially with men, because as you know, there aren't as many resources available for men as there are for women.
Not even close.
In Struggleville.
Not even close, man.
Yeah, it's not even close. So it's even more important now for principles and standards to stand tall above everything else.
Tom in Wisconsin, thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. JB with the $5 super chat says, but why did you lie about Devin's age, though? Why not just be honest about that or her divorce? Those are things that take away from your credibility. JB doesn't really want to know why I lied about Devin's age. He just wants to point out that I did. You don't really care about why. Even if I told you why, you would figure out a way to twist that around and make me look bad. I was honest about her divorce. Devin was married for damn near 20 years. I met her 6 months after her divorce. Those are things that take away from your credibility. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So it is incumbent upon people who find out about me. Okay, Donovan lied about his girlfriend's age. All right. Listen, if you want to use that as a referendum on my overall message, listen, man, I can't blame you for that. I can't blame you for that. If you want to unfollow me because I lied about my girlfriend's age, hey, look, I can't. What am I supposed to be, mad at you for some shit I did? No, I'm not going to hold that against you, right? Well, he lied about Devin's age, and that's fine with me. Just keep in mind that no content creator has ever done everything the right way. You think Kevin Samuels has never lied on the air? You think Myron Gaines has never lied on the air? You think that my detractors have never lied on the air? okay, they just haven't been caught, or they didn't get caught yet. I was the one that trusted the wrong person. So when guys ask, why did you lie about Devin's age, though, you don't really want to know why. You just want to point out the fact that I did. Yes, I lied about Devin's age. I'm not running from that. And I'm going to be successful despite that. But I do appreciate the $5 super chat. I appreciate that very, very much. Give me a second. The part. Oh boy. Yuhiro Kamara, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, says, the part of this that hurt my feeling personally, us when they called DS a grifter, I just bought a course for him for 75% off with a promo code. That's practically giving it away. I mean, I don't publicize a lot of the stuff like that. Nobody can look, man. People can say whatever they want about me. Nobody can argue with my results. Nobody can argue with the facts that I preach. Nobody can argue with womanese. Nobody can argue with any of that stuff. You can disagree with certain elements of the things that I talk about, but what I talk about is the truth. That's why I'm still around. The only way that I'll ever get taken down is by sneaky, underhanded tactics, mass flagging, reporting, etc., etc. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. No one has ever said, you know what, Donovan Sharpe is 100% wrong, and here's why. I've had people come on and try to tell me why. I've had David West on. I've debated Alex. I've debated Guste. I've debated Kevin Ray Wilder. I'm still here. No one has exposed me. Donovan Sharpe got all of his ideas from. Nope. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, I made a mistake. Lied about my girlfriend's age. If that's the reason why you want to unfollow me, I'm not going to hold that against you. That's a mistake that I made. I own it. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to sit here and run from it. I mean, look, I mean, I'm not perfect. Nobody out there is perfect. People have done underhanded, stupid, sneaky shit. Myself included. So all of my stuff is out there. You can take the overall picture. If me lying about my girlfriend's age is the reason why you don't want to follow me, I can't hold that against you. That's a mistake I made, and a mistake that I will pay for by myself. But I do know one thing about JB. I know he would fuck Devin if he had the chance. I know he would. The Red Pill Breakdowns are coming up next. That's right. The triple header. The Ultimatum, Temptation Island, and 90 Day Fiancé back to back. I'll be breaking those down directly after the show. If you want to watch live, absolutely free, guys, download the Sharpstream app. What are we waiting on? It's free. I don't want any money from y'all. I don't want any money from any of y'all. I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to grift today. I'm gonna go easy on the grifting. You can download the Sharpstream app for free on the App Store or the Google Play Store. You can watch all of my premium content. All of my premium content absolutely free. No charge. Now, if you want the replays of my dating show breakdowns, as a matter of fact, if you want access to all 13 seasons and over 1,000 hours of dating show breakdowns, that's when you have to become a member of Sharpstream. Become a member at Sharpstream. Go to sharpstream.com or you can become a member at patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Oh, wait a minute. I lost my place here. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. Patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe if you want to get access to that. I'm actually on the Sharpstream. Hang on a second, guys. So on the Sharpstream side, hang on a second, guys. Give me 2 seconds here because I want to make sure I'm giving you the right info. Oops. No, I do not want to sign into that. There we go. I'm going to see if I can share my... Well, no, I'll do this. I need to do a graphic. So, the dating shows I have broken down thus far. Love is Blind. 2 seasons. Seasons 1 and 2. F-Boy Island. Temptation Island. 90 Day Fiancé. Labor of Love. Too Hot to Handle. Love Island. I did a little bit of Sex Life, but that's not really... Yeah. The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. And now I'm breaking on The Ultimatum, Temptation Island. This is now my 4th season. Guys,
$5 a month. $5 a month. That's less than what? 16 cents per day. That's less than 16 cents per day. So be sure to get over there. JB says, you never mentioned her divorce before. I've been a lawyer follower since the O'Shea days. You never said anything about it. You're being dishonest, JB. I've talked about Devin's divorce ad nauseum. I've talked about it on Fresh and Fit. And just because you tell me that you've been a loyal follower doesn't mean you are. It sounds to me like you're trying to use my own platform to have an argument with me. Look, if you really have a problem with my content, then I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you're paying me to criticize me. Like, listen, if you want to watch my content, watch it. If not, then don't. It doesn't make any sense for you to be wasting your money trying to make me look bad. I mean, I don't have anything against you, but I've talked about Devin's divorce. I've talked about Devin's divorce a lot. So again, just because you say you've been a loyal follower doesn't mean you are. You're not loyal and you're not a follower. You're not. Just because you say you are doesn't mean you are. I appreciate the $10 in super chats though. Guys, sharpestream.com, download the Sharpestream app. You can download it for Apple or Android. Apple or Android. You can watch for free if you want the live replays. Gotta be a Patreon member, gotta be a Sharpestream member. So for now, I bid you guys farewell. Tomorrow, I will be breaking down, that's right, the Fresh and Fit podcast. Yes, I'm gonna be getting back to breaking down the Fresh and Fit podcast. Breaking those down take a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. So I'm really gonna have to do my my research on that one. Yuhiro Kamara says, what difference does Devin's divorce actually make? It doesn't. It doesn't make any difference. It's just that people want to point out things bad about her to try to make me look bad. I mean, whatever. It's not gonna hurt my bottom line. But I appreciate listen, JB wants to pay me $10 to argue. Hey, that's all good. I know that he's not been a loyal follower of mine just because a lot of people say things in public, and if they're the first to say something, they that makes it. That's one of the first rules of propaganda. If you're the first to say something, the public will believe you. So, thank you guys very, very much for tuning in. I will see you guys over on the Sharpestream side in 2 and 2. Appreciate it. Welcome, one and all. Welcome, one and all. And wow, I am really, really dark here. Alexa, turn on ring light 1. Yeah, that makes a little bit more of a difference. Maybe I'll up the exposure, but you guys aren't looking to see my ugly mug. Welcome, one and all, to the triple header.
Sorry, I missed something.
Alexa, stop. Shut up. Jesus, just like a woman. Welcome to the triple header. Temptation Island, The Ultimatum, and what was the last one? 90 Day Fiancé. 90 Day Fiancé. We're going to start things off with The Ultimatum, and we are going to go from there in no particular order. And with that, I bid farewell to my... my D-Live audience. I appreciate you coming on. Farewell to my Rumble audience. Farewell to my Twitch audience. Farewell to my backup YouTube channels watching. MGTOW.tv, Manosphere.tv. Thank you for watching my backup